Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to Marked by Wrestling. Being a mark means you believe. Believing makes wrestling better. And we're just 24 hours away from a Saturday night's main event. We're a week away from the Royal Rumble, and we are seconds away from Friday night Smackdown. So thanks for joining me tonight. Thanks for stopping by as, well, I'm dusting off the old desk and set to watch some Smackdown. We're branching out beyond NXT right now. I'll be with you guys tomorrow as well for Saturday night's main event. If you'll have me, if you want to come join us, man, it's getting to be the most eventful time of the year. We're going to be having the Royal Rumble next week, which means we're going to be building towards WrestleMania. So things are going to get exciting. You know, we've already dropped a season of Unreal WWE has this past week. On the channel, by the way, I've uploaded my thoughts on season 2 of Unreal. You can find that on the channel, or you can follow me on TikTok as well at Marked by Wrestling, where I've listed those thoughts as well. I've got my thoughts on season 2 of Unreal, as well as my predictions for the year 2026. So tonight, hopefully we'll have some good discussion and get a clearer picture going into Saturday night's main event tomorrow, as well as the Royal Rumble. So maybe we'll get one more match for Saturday night's main event, because we only have 3 right now. So good to see you guys. Tyrell, good to see you. Dawsey, as always, good to see you. Zach as well. Happy National Pie Day to you as well. PIE, not to be confused with PI, which would be March 14th, I'm assuming, 3.14. The Masters of the Universe trailer. We will talk about that, Dawsey, during a commercial break. Thank you for bringing that up. I'm going to go ahead and star that comment right now. Because, you know, I mean, I don't think you guys can see, but I've got my Miyagi Dojo Karate t-shirt on today as we see Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss backstage. Also saw Cody Rhodes. We'll hear from Cody tonight. We're going to have another triple threat women's tag, much like we did on NXT, which was amazing. And a number 1 contenders triple threat tag match tonight as well. So we have Alexa and Charlotte, Lash and Nia, and Giulia and Kiana James entering the fray as a tag team. So interested to see where that goes. And another tag title match as well. The MFTs will be taking on the Wyatts 6 for the tag titles. Also, we'll likely see Drew McIntyre, the WWE champion. Lockwood, good to see you as always. You had interest for season 1, but not season 2. That's fair. Honestly, if you've seen season 1 of Unreal, you should already know whether or not you want to see any more of it. The thing I like, and someone was commenting on my TikTok video about it today when they're asking me what I think of Unreal, I like the fact that everything we see in Unreal is like 6 months old. I would not enjoy getting an Unreal segment like within 24 hours to 30 days of an angle we just saw on TV. I feel like 6 months is a nice enough cushion for how much, just for how much programming is on now. That, you know, once we're 6 months out, okay, we can go back and look behind the curtain a little bit and not grossly crazy, but you know. Anyway, starting things off, we've got Sami Zayn here, and you know they are here and loud because we're already in Montreal. This is a double shot in Montreal for SmackDown and Saturday night's main event. So they're going to be big Sami fans here all weekend. Of course, last time of note for Sami Zayn, WWE had a major Montreal show. He wrestled Roman Reigns for the WWE Championship. Came up a little short, but we'll see what happens. Tyrell, you stay safe, man. I know those winter storms are nothing to play with, hitting us all over the place in our country right now. Modfather, you keep an eye on that storm too. All right, man, just stay warm. Don't go outside. If you have pets, keep them close. You guys will endure and hang in there. It's going to be all right. Sophie, yeah, I mean, I've taken good advice from you guys, trying to branch out into other streams since we're trying to, get over that hump of viewing hours. We're so close now. I think we're just a few weeks away, maybe, from getting into the next level of Marked by Wrestling. We'll see what happens. Man, Simpsons predicts everything. Of course, after a while, it's kind of like the Groundhog Day theory, the Bill Murray Groundhog Day, where he says maybe God isn't all knowing. He's just been around so long, he knows everything. Now, I don't think that's true about God. I do believe God is all knowing, but the Simpsons have been around so long, they pretty much can just predict everything. Fans still singing along with Sammy, to Sammy's theme music long after the music has died down. Montreal loves to love some Sami Zayn. I can't blame them. What's up, Shamanica? Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. What are they going to do with the Mad Dragon last name? I mean, I'm sure there's space for him. We're going to have, Mello tonight have another open challenge. I don't think it'll be the Mad Dragon, but I don't know. I don't know what's on deck for him, but surely they got plans for him. Came up a little short for this fatal four-way that we're going to see tomorrow, but we'll see what happens. No problem, last name. If you want to hang with us tonight, I'll give you a good play-by-play. Sammy's still soaking in the cheers from Montreal. They're ole-oleing all the way through. Shamanica, we're going to get 2K news. I think it's poignant and prescient that I streamed tonight, because I know we haven't been playing 2K25. Honestly, it's a bit at the bit of the end of its life cycle. Haven't had as much. Okay, Sammy cutting promos in French to a big pop. Feels good to be home, he says. We haven't been doing much 2K25 streaming anymore. Not as much PlayStation time as I used to have. However, 2K26, we'll see. Sammy feels like he's got a lot of momentum. I enjoyed season 2 of Unreal to a degree. We can talk more about that in commercial breaks too. Also, I gave some unfiltered thoughts on our channel. Oh, Sammy's getting interrupted by Trick, so we're probably going to see all 4 guys out here soon. Thank you for hitting that like button, Nico. Everybody, take a minute to be like Nico and hit that like button. He's a good example. He's a good example for all of us. Thank you, Nico. What's wild is they booed Trick heavily as soon as his music hit, but when he came out, they started chanting. Trick saying they're not on the same level. I tell you what, if I had sat there and thought about it before Trick, Oba, and Javon all came up, if I'd taken time to think about it, maybe I would have come around. But honestly, Trick might be the most tailor-made to be successful on the main roster. He's got the best of all the things that the main roster looks for. He's fun to watch. He's smooth. Trick learned enough French to talk smack to the crowd. Still am, but man, that ladder match in Bloodline mode was awful. I got lucky to get past it. It took me the most time to get past it. Well, last name, we only got 3 matches tomorrow so far. I think the Fatal 4-Way, just because I'm interested in seeing who's gonna face Drew at Royal Rumble. Trick's here to be WWE champion. He's got 3 guys he's going to have to go through tomorrow to get there, though, to get a shot. Big chance for Sammy. Man. I think it is going to be a very interesting Rumble this year. There's sometimes people complain about there being a lack of build, but also that lack of clarity. This really only works for the Royal Rumble. A lack of clarity going into the Rumble matches can sometimes work in its favor because there's so many possibilities. So Sammy and Trick are both just taking turns saying they're not on the same level, but obviously they both have subtext to both of their comments. I think Sammy spit on Trick. And Trick sold it, which is a good choice. All right, so are we going to get Damian Priest or Randy Orton to come out here? They're just kind of staring each other down. Trick is facing Damian tonight, so I don't know how physical he'll get. Trick's backing down from the challenge. Booker T to sing Sammy's theme. We need a whole album of Booker T sung entrance themes. Because if Booker is going to be in the business of singing entrance themes, I think I want to get him a little bit of Shawn Michaels in there too. That's where you separate the men from the boys and singing entrance themes for sure. All right, Tyrell. Sounds like you got quite an angle going on there for Jacob. Jacob's probably going to have quite an angle himself tonight on SmackDown going in versus Cody tomorrow at Saturday night's main event. All right, here's Priest. All right. Priest says Trick's afraid of him. Yes, Shamanica. I mean, they're throwing Trick out there to see if he sinks or swims for sure. And I give Trick credit. So far, he's keeping his head above the water. I mean, he looks like he belongs in there with Sammy and Damian at least. Trick's just staring holes through Damian. Okay. So Trick steps to Damian Priest and uses it as a distraction to cheap shot Sammy. He tried to throw hands with Priest, but Priest was ready for him. And now Sammy's throwing hands with Trick too. So Priest and Sammy are gonna, yeah, they're gonna fight each other trying to fight Trick. No, no, no spotting, no sighting of Randy Orton though. Would have thought we could have got a Phantom RKO out of here, but just the three of them. I got to tell you, it doesn't bode well for Randy unless he's about to sneak up here at the end of this segment. For him to not even be involved in this segment when he's in the match. Oh, there he is. He's just backstage watching the monitor like it's 2007 with the angle. Oh, Kathy Kelly's legit asking him why he didn't get involved. It's just nice acknowledgement. Okay. I don't love the three most dangerous letters catchphrase so much. It's a little forced, but you know what? Randy's like, my battle's not tonight. My battle's tomorrow. And wisdom there from the Viper, from the Apex Predator. Michael Cole and Wade Barrett on the call tonight. Okay, so we already have the U.S. title match. There's Mello and Ilya. Okay. Last name, if you're listening, Ilya is going to challenge again for the U.S. title tonight. Miz with the Home Alone reference. Okay. So Mello popping off at Miz and pointing out that Ilya gave him more opportunities than Miz ever did. Hopefully that's not too big of a preview into how this match will go tonight. But we're going to get Miz versus Ilya. Mello versus Ilya tonight for the U.S. title. So Mello making his entrance now. And here we go. Nah, Sophie, three most dangerous letters doesn't sound good no matter what promotion or what TV show it's on. It's just a little played out. But we don't cheer for Randy because of his catchphrases anymore. He's earned his spot in the transcendent level of superstardom. So yeah, we get Ilya versus Carmelo Hayes coming right up after the break here. I'm assuming is about to happen for the U.S. title. Should be a lot of fun. All right. So while we're on break, we got an ad here for Saturday night's main event. Man, I missed that Winged Eagle title. New sound, new moments. What are they saying? It's probably coming off Peacock. I bet. Oh, okay. Yep, no, still advertising it on Peacock for now. All right. All right. Dossie was the first one to ask this question earlier. Curious about your thoughts on the Masters of the Universe trailer. So yeah, He-Man, the Masters of the Universe was a toy line I was super into as a kid. Me and my brother. And I was a kid, 5 or 6 or so, when the last movie came out in the late 80s. And the last movie did not super line up to the cartoon that we watched, every Saturday or whenever. But I got to say this, in one hand, it looks like they're really trying to be visually faithful to the cartoon and to the toys and all that stuff, which is really cool. On the other hand, I also have some real like Thor Ragnarok kind of vibes coming out of it, to which is not a bad thing necessarily, because I really did like Thor Ragnarok, but that movie also came out in like 2017, 2018. And that was 7 years ago or so. So it's weird because I am equally excited to see a visual representation done faithfully, and also a little skeptical because it already feels like a movie I've already seen. And so I don't know what to do with that. So one of these days I'll probably see it. I don't know if I'll go to the theaters to see it or not. We'll see what happens. But because I'm probably the only one in my house that has any kind of affectionate connection to it, because that's way past my kids' time. But I don't know. Maybe we'll see what happens. All right. So thank you for the question, Dossie. I have a question of the week for everybody tonight, based on some news that's making its way through the old social media channels and wrestling, and we'll revisit this throughout the night for as much as you want to talk about it rather. So word on the street is ex-AEW star Powerhouse Hobbs has signed with WWE. So my question is to you: if you were in charge, how would you debut Powerhouse Hobbs? Whatever show, whatever brand, whatever superstar you want to put him with in his first feud and his debut, how would you debut Powerhouse Hobbs? That's my question to you. I'll participate, but I want to give you guys a chance to answer as well as I'm making my way through the comments. Last name, middle name. Dude, I have seen clips of Paul London's interview with Chris Van Vliet. I wasn't dying to see a Paul London, Chris Van Vliet interview, but once I saw a couple of clips, he's very animated and very he's a very entertaining interview. So like, even though I wasn't like a huge fan of his when he was in WWE, he makes for entertaining content. I'll tell you that. He's a good storyteller. So he's a good interview. So I think it's pretty entertaining. Maybe I'll go back and try to watch the whole thing, but I've seen a couple of clips here or there. As we're coming back to SmackDown now. Trey Miguel re-signing with Impact. I mean, I'm happy for Trey. I saw that initially he said he wanted, I know there was some controversy around him being signed to AEW, getting dropped from AEW, then saying he was going to take a break. If he's content where he is and TNA's happy to have him, then great. All the best to both of them. Sophie, you would do what they did when they signed Jane Cargill. Okay, so kind of take it slow, make him a monster, maybe pair him with a veteran like they did with Jade and Bianca. Okay, those are all valid things. I have to think about what I would do with him. I feel like it's a tricky time. I feel like I know, it's easy to guess that I would say put him on NXT, because NXT probably sounds like my answer for everything a lot of times, which guilty. But I am concerned with the presence of Trick Williams, Javon Evans, even though he's currently hurt right now, and the looming debut of Obafemi. Hopefully, there can be a unique place on the main roster for him that he wouldn't get lost in the shuffle of, debuting Black Excellence. If he did go to NXT, since I brought it up, I would have him as like the sort of Raquel Rodriguez or Diesel for Ricky Saints. Sorry. Because Ricky Saints is a great, smack talking heel. And really good smack talking heels could use a physical presence behind them to do their dirty work. And I think he could do that. As the bell rings, do you guys think Ilya wins the US title back tonight? I gotta say, I think Mello finds a way to keep the title tonight. Yeah, Jade. If they did actually put Powerhouse Hobbs in NXT, I don't think he'd be there long. I could imagine him being like on the Giulia Stephanie Vaquer track of I would put him on the fast track in NXT, 6 to 8 months maybe, and then bring him up. Just enough time to let him get the lay of the land and then test him out on the main roster and see what happens. Ladies and gentlemen, Coalition in the house. Thank you, B. Sending some love to fellow Coalition member. Hope you guys are doing well in your stream as well. Maybe I'll pop over at a commercial break, say hi myself. But yes, as always, good to see you guys. Hope you guys are doing well. Dossie, speaking of Masters of the Universe, AB, okay, here we go. You would debut him as the third member to the Seth and Theory faction. Actually, that's a great thought. If we're gonna deviate Theory away from the Vision and do and bring him back with Seth when Seth is ready, which is something we've all kind of discussed a little bit here and there. Bringing him in with them would be really entertaining. I mean, he would be an interesting visual counterpart to Bronson Reed or Braun Breaker. So not a bad idea. Not a bad idea at all. There's a joke that Powerhouse Hobbs would join the New Day as a new Biggie. Oh man, let me tell you, as someone who lived through WCW, trying to like replace a talent with 2.0 is not a good idea. I don't know if you guys remember Ahmed Johnson from WWE. Well, he was briefly in WCW right at the end, replacing Booker T and Harlem Heat 2000, and they called him Big T. They even had him face Booker T in a match for the rights to the letter T in their name. And Booker T had to go by Booker for a little while because he lost that match. Give you one guess who was booking at that point. Bro. It was a terrible idea, bro. Anyway. Ugh. Last name, middle name says, do what they're doing with Bane, Tony D'Angelo, and just show and destroy. Hey, I don't hate that. I don't hate that idea either. Do not hate that idea one bit. Have him go with New Day. Tyrell has a question. Do you think the final boss, The Rock, passes role to Ricky Saints to NXT final boss? Same lines, the way he talks. I am skeptical that The Rock would do anything that would be that level of involvement with NXT. I know he did like the one cameo with Ava that one time. I don't know that he would have an intentional storyline presence beyond that, though. Sophie, Dwayne did not get nominated for an Oscar. He did get nominated for a Golden Globe. Something I didn't take into account is that while the Oscars now is in the habit of nominating 10 films for Best Picture, they still only have 5 for the individual awards for director, actor, and actress, and all that stuff. So I don't when I look and saw who did get nominated this year for Best Actor, I wasn't surprised that Dwayne didn't get nominated for Best Actor. Because there's technically at the Golden Globes, there's technically 10 acting awards per category because they split them up into dramas and comedy/musical. So you have 5 here and 5 here. And so in that regard, Dwayne Johnson did get nominated. And there's always rumors that those nominations can be financially motivated. That's all I'll say about that. But Smashing Machine did get nominated for one of the screenplay Oscars, which I don't know that old DJ was connected to the screenplay in any way, but the film did get nominated for an Oscar. Anyway, that being said, there only being 5 slots for Best Actor at the Academy Awards. Definitely all 5 of those guys were more deserving than Dwayne, in my opinion. And that's not a slam on The Rock. It's really hard to crack that category, especially this year. You have Michael B. Jordan and Timothy Chalamet and Ethan Hawke and some real heavy hitting actors in those roles, in the roles that they did. So, I'm not all that surprised that that didn't happen. He could come back to WWE. I'm not interested in it though. The only thing I really want to see, there's only 2 things I would want to see from Rock. And I don't think he's in physical shape currently to do anything this year for WrestleMania. And I'm only interested in him coming back if he's going to put over the Roman or if he's going to put over Cody. And I just am not, I don't think he might put over Roman. I don't think he's going to put over Cody. So I don't see the point unless he's just going to show up and do the little crowd pleasing promos and then be on his way. I don't really need him. I don't need to see the final boss again. That's just me though. He was really good at it, but I'm just burnt on his availability to that. So I just rather him not at this point. Ciampa could go to New Japan. I think he could do well there. I mean, I think if any company gets behind him, he could do well anywhere. But I think he could do a lot in TNA if he wanted to go there. But that's up to him and up to the company. Only 2 there. Mello trying to chop down Ilya, sorry, in this match. Barrett calling it a La Mystica. Hard to tell what the French Canadian crowd is chanting, but it had the cadence of "This is awesome." We'll see what we got. Tell you what, man, Dragunov is I love Dragunov's style in the ring. He's just so. I've said this before in conversations with my coalition family A and B. He wrestles like he's trying to hurt you, which is pro wrestling 101. It's trying to look like you're trying to hurt somebody. Oh no, Triple H said they were cheering Cena. Like they were all pretty much aware that the heel turn wasn't working. I mean, and Cena tried, but he never Michael Cole putting over Dallas Irvin in the ring. Way to go, man. But yeah, it's just Cena's decision, the decision to turn Cena heel was not it. I mean, it was WWE again trying to have a moment, and they mortgaged the rest of the consequences of that decision for one moment. Man, And shoot, Ilya reversed the first 48 into a power bomb. Still only got 2 out of it as we're going back to break right now. Last name middleman, want to see Timothy and Ilya as a tag team. Now that would be awesome to see. Absolutely. That would be quite brutal for sure. Those two guys just lay it in. I would really like to see Timothy Thatcher back up a level because he's down like at Evolve at this point, right? So would love to see him do more. Yeah. Yeah. Mello's flexibility and agility versus, paired with Ilya's just core strength and stuff, man. These two make for really compelling ring partners. You know what this kind of reminds me of a little bit? When Riddle kicked his teeth out. Right. This kind of reminds me of Booker T and Chris Benoit back in the Nitro days. They had their best of 7 series over the TV title. And they had these kind of complementing styles with Benoit being kind of an Ilya Dragunov in the ring. And Mello is a bit of a smaller, a shorter Booker T, but a lot of that offense though, he kind of replicates that kind of style. And strangely enough, man, those two flavors pair well together, like a good steak and a good wine. Not that I would know too much about that. Yeah, Chris and Regal were stiff, Matt. Yeah, Chris and Regal and Finley. Yeah, all of those guys, man. They just like to lay it in there, man. No, I did not hear about a live action Dispatch movie. That sounds interesting. So live action too. That's kind of wild. I could imagine an animated film. Oh, springboard DDT from Mello. What's up, Anthony? Good to see you, man. Welcome to the chat. Only 2 from that DDT from Mello. Yeah, I think we're still on ads right now, but I'm doing the picture-in-picture here. I tell you what's wild though is they're not live right now on the broadcast, and Mello and Ilya are still laying it in. So this live crowd is getting their money's worth, which is pretty wild. And they're selling a lot too. They're not just doing a gymnastics show. So shout out to them. All right, we're coming back to break, and Mello is on the top rope. And Ilya meets him up there. Yeah, a lot of stiffness going on tonight. And I mean, you can't do every match that way, but I like a show like this where this might be the only match that is a bit like this, Oh yeah, Tyrell, the scramble match, man. That takes me back. It's the what do you want to call it? It's like pieces of the Iron Survivor match, the little difference. Would I put Powerhouse Hobbs with Mello or Trick Williams? No, I wouldn't. But if I had to choose between the two, I'd choose Mello because I think Hobbs might actually look a little small next to Trick because Hobbs is shorter than Trick, isn't he? He would look bigger next to Mello if I was choosing between the two, but I wouldn't put him with either one. Oh, man. Big superplex, deadlift superplex from Ilya to Mello. Just nasty. Shamanica, MJF and WWE ID champion were on the same show, like a WWE AW crossover. That's pretty cool. The last time I remember that happening was when Mike Awesome was ECW champion. This was one of the weirdest nights. But Mike Awesome was ECW champion, and he had come to WCW. And they brought him back to ECW to drop the title, basically. And WWE sent Taz back to ECW as part of a three-way dance. So they put him in there, and they had, if I'm remembering correctly, they had Taz beat Mike Awesome. And then Taz just lost the second fall to whoever the ECW, maybe it was Rhino, or Tommy Dreamer. I don't remember who he lost to, but I just remember seeing a contracted WWF, contracted WCW, and a contracted ECW talent all in one ring together for the ECW title. Well, Ilya is just laying the chops in rapid style. Oh no, are we about to see a Death Valley driver on the apron? Nope. Super kick from Mello. Oh, jeez. That suplex into a cutter right on the ring apron. Barrett said it same time I did. Good job, Wade. I think Hobbs is changing his name. I heard that he was changing his name. You know, I do get irritated when people's names change, but you know, honestly, after a couple of weeks, I get used to it. I got used to it with Blake Monroe, got used to it with Ricky Saints, got used to it with Daniel Bryan. That Bryan is the one that I go back to every time. If we could get used to Bryan Danielson calling himself Daniel Bryan, we can get used to anything. I mean, Walter going to Gunther. We'll get there. I just hope it's not a dumb name. Yeah, sometimes I still say Ricky Starks by accident, but usually I can get Ricky Saints in there. I just kind of say Ricky at this point. All right. Ilya's got Mello on his shoulders right in the middle of the ring. Oh, gosh. Death Valley driver into the corner turnbuckles, and Mello is going through it. 1, 2. Mello still finds a way to kick out. I tell you what, this open challenge is doing great things for Mello, because even if he takes a beating every week, like, it's showing how resilient he is, how tough he is. And I think that's getting him more and more over, you know, as a babyface. C4. Yeah, there we go. Oh, there's Miz. Miz just interfered and shoved Dragunov off the top rope. Mello didn't see it, and Mello's going to capitalize. And Mello defends. I wonder if we'll get Mello Miz tomorrow at Saturday night's main event. It really irks me that there's only 3 matches scheduled. Surely there's one more we can have. Honestly, I feel like it should be a women's match, but maybe we'll get Jade Cargill defending against somebody. But, man, what a sell. What a bump by Ilya on that first 48. He takes the shot, and then he goes down, and then he just flips all the way over forwards. Just crazy stuff. Good sell, Brett. Anyway. Oh, Mello sees RT Rick. Good to see you, my friend. Thank you for stopping by tonight. So Mello sees Miz as he's leaving. We'll see what happens. It ain't over between Mello and Miz, though. We'll see where that blows off. Okay, and now we're going to see a recap of Cody and Jacob Fatu, who will be facing off one-on-one tomorrow. Very curious how that goes. I think I'll give you guys some predictions as we go tonight, too. Cody versus Jacob Fatu. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen tonight on SmackDown, but as it stands right now, unless there's some kind of shenanigans going on in the match, which there could be, I kind of feel like Jacob needs to win that match. Like, Jacob just came back, and you can't just have him eat a crossroads and that be it, you know? I feel like Jacob takes it. I definitely think Sami Zayn is going to win the Fatal 4-Way. I think we're getting Sami Zayn versus Drew McIntyre at the Royal Rumble. Number one, because Sami winning that Fatal 4-Way in Montreal will go over like gangbusters. Number two, if Sami Zayn has a WWE title match at the Royal Rumble, then the Saudi crowd will not expect him to be in the Royal Rumble. Therefore, they probably won't hijack the show or be mad when Sami either doesn't enter it or doesn't win it, or both, you know, obviously, if he's not going to win it, if he's not in it. Yeah, it's true. We still don't know who attacked him. And I got to say, I'm not going to say that I called it or whatever, but I pointed out, I remember the week after, or no, it was the night. It was the night he got attacked. Cody and Drew were still going at it. And all the commentary just kind of assumed it was Drew who did it. But Cody was so over dramatized in accusing Drew of it. I said out loud, I was like, it's not a non-zero chance that it was Cody who attacked him. I'm not putting all my money on it, but I'm just saying I reserve the right to not be surprised if they do actually reveal that it was Cody who attacked him. You think it's Ilya? Interesting. RT Rick, you think it's Solo? That's fair. There is evidence, for that. Rumor of Miz being on the chopping block. Man, I got to tell you, if Miz got released against his will, so to speak, like he didn't want to leave, some of y'all are going to call me crazy, but I think that's on an R-Truth level of release. Like, Miz doesn't have to be in the main event or anything like that, but he's a guy WWE would want around. Because he does so much for them, like off screen, on screen. Like he is somebody who truly does. Oh, Attitude Era edition of 2K26. Okay. So we are getting an Attitude Era deal there. I hope they show that ad again because I was not paying all that much attention, if I got to be honest. I saw Austin and Rock, and I think I saw Lita, but all right. Yeah, Miz has actually been one of these veterans who truly has been working with young talent and working to get them over. Because you hear about people who do that and they bury talent instead, or actually just put themselves over, or find a way. But Miz really has embraced this era of his career where he's, trying to make something of the people he gets paired with. And so, I mean, he is a company guy through and through, which, some people don't care for, but I respect that from an employment standpoint. And so he doesn't have to be featured every single week on TV, but hopefully he doesn't get chopped. Unless he's just ready to retire. And hear me out too. Miz is a Hall of Famer. Some people who just have hate in their heart for Miz will probably want to disagree with that. The man's resume speaks for himself. I mean, okay, well, I'm happy to know it's just a rumor, Rick. That's how things go on the internet and stuff. But yeah, I mean, Miz, 2-time Money in the Bank holder, 2-time Grand Slam champion, main event at WrestleMania. I don't think he ever won a Royal Rumble or a King of the Ring, but like, man, he's done just about everything that you can hang your hat on in terms of accomplishment. So I give him all the credit in the world, considering that he was one of the original is not really the right word, but he was really one of the first really accomplished celebrity wrestlers. He came in as a reality TV star. Think about the taste you get in your mouth when we talk about reality TV stars or reality stars or influencers, from the good, the bad, and the ugly of it all, from the Bad Bunnies to the Logan Pauls to the Ronda Rouseys to the Jelly Rolls to the Travis Scotts. Miz is a part of that fraternity to a degree. And he made it happen, man. He took the hazing, he took his blows, and he didn't back down, and he earned the respect of people there. And now he's one of the elder statesmen of the locker room. So whenever he's ready to hang it up and go out, I really do hope he gets to go out on his own terms. He's earned my respect for sure. Snooki, yeah, Snooki, one of them too. Do I think Spaceballs 2 will be good? I can almost guarantee Spaceballs 2 will not exceed the expectations I had of the first one, but I'm hoping it's good enough. I'm hoping it's as good as the Naked Gun was this past year. That's my bar. All right, Michael Cole interviewing Cody Rhodes, starting off talking about the losing the title. Cody looks like an investment banker with a lot of bronzer on. Huh. If you're watching, pay attention closely to this interview, guys. Oh, Jacob just walked up into the interview. Cole just left and Jacob's about to sit in his seat. Whoa. Whoa. Cody really said that. Um, oh, okay. Okay. If you're not watching this show, go find this segment tonight or tomorrow before Saturday night's main event. Jacob has resurrected from Soundbite University, from Catchphrase University, and he cut a real promo on Cody. And I tell you what, man, that was such a shades of gray interaction where they were both heelish and they were both face-ish at the same time. And Jacob pretty much did one thing we can pull from this. Jacob pretty much confirmed that Drew is the one who attacked him. But Yeah. Wow. Okay, Chelsea and Alba backstage just ran into Jordan Grace. Go watch that. Go watch that promo. Jacob was on fire. And Cody wasn't bad either. Cody wasn't bad. It wasn't Cody's best promo, but well, he attacked Cody because Cody put his hands on Jacob first, which is true. Chelsea's offering Jordan a job with the Secret Service. Jordan just heard Chelsea say that she had a match with Jade. She's like, "Oh, I'm in." Oh my gosh. You know what though? Low key, Jordan Grace would be a great Secret Service member. She could crush it. But we all know that this is not going to be one of those things. Okay. Well, oh, she's coming. Okay, here she comes. She is with Alba Fire. Oh gosh. Yeah. Well, Chelsea, she is dressed like a Mountie. Yeah, Jade Cargill is gonna have her for dinner, but that's okay. Chelsea's time will come. Hopefully at Money in the Bank, which is after SummerSlam this year. I'm still wrapping my head around that. Guys, yeah, no, but the Jacob Fatu promo was something else. Get the Quebecers, great. Lockwood, you got me all locked up. Great Quebecers reference there. We're not the Mounties. Jacques and Pierre, man. Back in the day with Scotty Flamingo. No, not Scotty Flamingo. That was his WCW name. Johnny Polo as their manager, who would go on to be Raven. Yeah, wild stuff. Yeah. Everybody throw up your prayers for Chelsea Green. As a matter of fact, while we're on break, I'm going to go visit our coalition members, A and B combos, just to go ahead and make sure they are also in prayer. Oh goodness. Yeah, I'm here for more than punch to do with a stack of coins.
And it was just kind of flopping, like basically like Stranger Things.
Man, oh man. Okay. If you're just joining us, our question of the week is, how would you debut Powerhouse Hobbs in WWE? All right. Now, we'll be back. We'll be coming back to the show in about 30. So again, tomorrow, Saturday night's main event, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, I do believe. And so we're a third of the way through SmackDown tonight. Again, I cannot recommend enough going back to visit the Cody and Jacob segment. That's got me much more hyped. I might be more hyped for that interaction, if I'm being honest, tomorrow Saturday night's main event. Now that I am the Fatal 4-Way. That's right, Lockwood. Jacques Rougeau, he did. He sucker punched Dynamite Kid. Dynamite Kid, God bless him, bit of a bully backstage. He and I think Davey Boy to a lesser extent, though. Davey Boy, Dynamite, a little bit of a miserable reputation. Oh, we got a Roman Reigns promo here. Is this his official? He's going to be in the Royal Rumble video. He can't be troubled to show up in Montreal and say it himself. We'll see what happens, but it's a Roman promo. Is that Riyadh? Lots of fireworks. Lots of aura farming, as they say. Yeah, it's a Royal Rumble shots. So this is the confirmation. Roman will be in the Rumble. Riyadh Reigns. Rumble. It's pretty good. Okay. What's wild? He gets a pop for that without even being in the building. Oh, the Dark Side of the... Yeah. Dark Side of the Ring's an interesting series. I fell off as the seasons went on, but I watched them a lot early on. Yeah, I know. He returns. He's so rare. Every time he shows up, it's a return. Yeah. He's the new Undertaker. At this point, he'll show up at the Rumble, and then they'll just announce whatever his WrestleMania match. You know, Saturday night's main event would be a good place for a return last name, but who would it be? That's my question, because of the way the card is set up, you know? It would be a miracle, and he would have to be safe. But if Kevin Owens could somehow come back and be involved in that Fatal 4-Way, like align with Sammy or cost Sammy, I wouldn't hate that. Modfather is a great question here, guys. Let's drop it in and everybody weigh in. Who do you think in WWE is the serial aura farmer? Well, I'll tell you what. I think the evolutionary chart of aura farming in WWE probably goes Hogan. After Hogan, it's got to be Undertaker. And Undertaker pretty much was it until Tribal Chief Roman. We've really only had 3 truly serial aura farmers, in my opinion. And I think it went Hogan, Taker, Roman. Because Taker had that thing on lock for decades. Nobody came close. Whoa, Chelsea. Chelsea just dove over the ropes to take out Jade. The Rock is a good answer. I think it's fair to say Taker took a little bit of a pause during the Attitude Era, and Rock was shoulder to shoulder with him in serial aura farming. Rock aura'd so Roman could run for sure. Chelsea absolutely can go. And I don't think that Chelsea has to have like a killer instinct as a character for them to elevate her up to the next level. Brock is also a serial aura farmer as well. Yeah. Y2J. Yeah. Jericho. Good answer. Jade doing push-ups like Big Papa Pump. Yeah, Cody is too. Yeah, let it not be said that I won't say Cody's not an aura farmer. He is too, for sure. Jey Uso is an aura farmer. The Yeet Merchant, as some people like to call him. Drink it in, man. Yeah, man. I wonder if we'll see Jericho in Riyadh in any capacity, not necessarily in the Rumble or, just showing up to announce that he's returned. All right. Jade is kind of just taking care of business at this point. She's getting booed. Well, Chelsea is a home country girl. Canadian excellence as she is. Just don't break Chelsea's nose, okay? Now, Jade is being continuously distracted by Jordan Grace. This would be a great opportunity for Chelsea to get a win over over Jade. Like a cheap win. It doesn't have to be dominant, you know? Boom! Missile drop kick from Chelsea. I'm sorry that I keep sounding so surprised. I believe Chelsea can work great. Meteor to the back of the neck. Who do I think was on the phone with Adam Pearce? Scott Steiner. That's who I think was on the phone with Adam Pearce. Big Papa Pump himself. All right. Chelsea shoved into the corner. Pump kick misses. Legs on the rope. Oh. If Chelsea can't win with a cheating pin, I don't know that she's going to get the cheating victory. Super kick from Jade into a power bomb. Dropped. Oh, Alba Fire distracts and eats a big boot. And now she's about to put the Jaded on Chelsea right in front of Jordan. That's going to be 3. I know you want. All right. This is just my personal bias speaking because I love Chelsea. Jade didn't have to win that match, but you know, you want to commit to Jade still steamrolling over everybody. That's fine. Now Jordan's cutting a promo. Jordan's declared for the Royal Rumble. Ooh. Jordan challenging her now. And Jade's backing down. Jade getting booed, man. Jade said, I'm going to do it on my time. Yeah, anybody who compete with Penta. Yeah, Chelsea kept up with Penta for sure. Okay. Well, I wonder what kind of showing Jordan will have in this year's Royal Rumble. There's Alexa Bliss backstage watching the scene unfold. And here's Charlotte. Anybody feel like either Charlotte or Alexa are going to eliminate each other in the Rumble? Okay. Scott would call Bronson Reed fat. He's fat. He didn't go from a highly educated university. Scott Steiner, man. Solo got that lantern still. Shamanika, no. So Jade and Jordan are not fighting tomorrow. I don't believe they just, according to that promo that Jordan cut after Jade's match, she's just saying she's going to the Rumble. The state of obesity. Ooh, evoking the memory of Bray is crazy work there, Solo. Solo's carrying that lantern around reminds me of y'all remember the Godfather from the Attitude Era. One of his previous gimmicks was Kama, the Supreme Fighting Machine, who had a feud with the Undertaker in the early 90s, and they stole his urn and he melted it down into a gold chain. It was a different time. Solo is giving me Kama, Supreme Fighting Machine vibes right now. Having the lantern and its powers or whatever. But here's Uncle Howdy and the Wyatt Six making their entrance. The tag team champions getting ready to defend against the MFTs. So we got Gacy and Loomis defending the titles, I'm assuming. Oh, you know who we didn't mention as an aura farmer? Bray Wyatt. Honestly, as much as I was exhausted with the MFTs the past several months, this new face paint has been like is literally a new coat of paint on the MFTs. And I wouldn't mind them getting the titles, inject a little fresh blood, what's old is new again, into the tag division. I'm beyond puzzled with SmackDown's tag division. I gotta admit, because their tag roster is deep, it's talented, and you would think it's really, really exciting, but they just have done so little to make their teams special. What's up, George? Welcome home from work, man. George, a couple of things. We're in Montreal tonight. The Fatal 4-Way to determine the number one contender, that is tomorrow, Saturday night's main event. Trick Williams and Trick Williams and Damian Priest are in the main event tonight. We're about to have the tag title match, MFTs versus Wyatt 6. Mello successfully defended his U.S. Open title challenge against Ilya Dragunov. Great match. Go back and watch it. Miz got involved to help Mello without Mello's knowledge. So that played into the finish, which kind of protected Ilya. And Jade beat Chelsea Green, although it was a little entertaining. It was kind of short. And one thing George, I highly recommend is you looking up the backstage interview promo with Cody Rhodes and Jacob Fatu. That's all I'll say for that. It was really, really well done. It was like, filmed earlier in the day kind of thing, but really well done. So go check that out for sure. That's something that was a marked moment for me tonight for sure. RT Rick, wrestling sure has become a different form of entertainment over the last 60 years. 100% RT Rick. I never would have guessed when I was a little boy that my fandom would look the way it looks now. Modfather, Vince, 100. Vince was an aura farmer in life, not just on camera, man, just in every facet of his life. It's ridiculous. Well said. When I was first introduced into wrestling, I was first marked by wrestling. Funny we'd mentioned Saturday night's main event. It was a Saturday night's main event in 1987, right before WrestleMania 3. I remember seeing Andre the Giant in this. It's the first video on my channel. I talk about it at length. This battle royal that took place that Hogan and Andre were both in, and a bunch of other people too. And but at that same time, over on the Superstation on TBS, Ric Flair and the Four Horsemen and Dusty Rhodes and the Road Warriors and Barry Windham and Sting. Sting wasn't even really on the scene yet. Like Jimmy and Ronnie Garvin. The NWA had a far more like legitimized sort of sports presentation. I know I just said the Road Warriors, but they were not nearly as cartoony, as WWF was at the time. So, when I'm watching Dusty Rhodes and Ric Flair, or Nikita Koloff and Ric Flair, or Ronnie Garvin against Ric Flair, or Barry Windham against Ric Flair. First of all, Rick was just all that stuff, right? And it presented itself in such a way that it was like true athletic competition, and they cut promos that way too, but yeah, wrestling evolves over every generation for sure, Lockwood. You're right about that. But it is interesting, even the gap in perception between NWA and WWF in the late 80s, the way it's all kind of evolved even to now, because you'll have really hardcore, say, AEW fans claiming that their product is real wrestling, if such a thing actually exists. And there's tons of cartoonishness in AEW as well. You look at Tony Storm or Orange Cassidy or whomever. And so yeah, like it has become entertainment, which honestly, the opening video package to WrestlePalooza last year on ESPN, I thought was a really good thesis statement on what wrestling has become. He says, Triple H voiced over this video package. I'm paraphrasing, but it's like, it's really no longer sports entertainment as in wrestling, but all sports is entertainment, and we're just a part of it now. By the way, the MFT entrance has upgraded severely. Anyways, yeah, so it's just different now. You just kind of got to roll with it. Doesn't mean you have to like every bit of it. I criticize when I feel it's necessary to criticize. Man, Fan was mouthing off there at Solo. You got to be careful about that stuff. I would not get testy with any Samoans. Sting, Crow Sting for sure. Once he put on that crow face paint, it was Aura Farm City. Excuse me. Yeah, I know that they got a Solo got to do something with that lantern. Oh, he gives it to Tala Tonga and sends Tala in the back. Nah, I'm not picking up TNA just yet, Sophie. I can't do it yet. I'm gonna have to get more stable and have more time to do that. I'm not ready to invest that time in TNA. I'll just catch up with them via NXT for now. Crow Sting was a great gimmick. Sophie asked how you feel about Saturday night's main event having only 3 matches. Sophie, I don't love it. 4 matches is my cap. I don't like having less than that on any specialty show, even on TV. I don't like it. 4 or 5 matches for shows minimum. Royal Rumble, if that ends up being 4 matches, that's fine, because 2 of them are Royal Rumbles, so 2 of them are going to be an hour long anyways. But Saturday night's main event should add 1 more match. Yeah, Modfather, when it comes to Crow Sting, one of my favorite moments, period, was at the end of Uncensored 97. There was like a triple threat. I think it was a triple threat match. It was like the Horsemen versus like Team WCW versus NWO. And Sting comes down at the end from the rafters. And like people weren't sure still whose side he was on. And that was the first night he took that bat and started laying waste to the NWO. The pop, man, for every shot he landed with the crowd was just, talk about, man, that was a marked moment of all time. I might have to do some videos on that, all-time marked moments. If I can even fathom that. Even on a 2-night Rumble, that's a good question, Dossie. I think maybe 5 matches 5 matches each on 2 night rumbles, because you'll have 1 rumble. So 4 undercard matches and then a rumble. And here's the idea. You put your men's matches on the night of the women's rumble and your women's matches on the night of the men's rumble. Just a thought. Something that just occurred to me, by the way. We're going to have 30 women under Saudi dress code. God bless them. I hope they don't burn up in that ring, wrestling for an hour. That's just now clicked with me. And whoever, pray for whatever women draw number 1 and number 2 in the rumble, because they're going to be full body suited. And if they make it to the end of the rumble, are going to be going 60 minutes. They're going to have to book that rumble carefully. Well, yeah, Saudi usually has 2 shows a year. They usually have Crown Jewel or King of the Ring. They won't have no reaction. I think some of them will get no reaction because of Def Rebel, but I think there will still be some that are going to get a big reaction. The Saudi crowds have gotten better every year with their reception of the women. Now, are they going to be as good as the American crowds? Probably not. But they're getting better. They're getting better. 3 shows in Saudi this year. We'll see about that. Let's see. Bear with me for just a second, everybody. I'm going to go answer the door. I'll be right back. All right, everybody. So let's see. Yeah, hopefully better than last year's crowd. George asked, do I remember Crow Sting in the rafters of the Vulture at Clash of Champions? Yeah, it was like the last ever Clash of Champions they did. I do remember that. Modfather. Well, listen, man, you gotta take it one step at a time, But imagine this though. Do you remember Modfather? Like the first time they ever went there, they had to wrestle in oversized t-shirts. The fact that they can even get creative in their gear, even though they're wearing, fully clothed bodysuits now. It seems like there's progression every year and a more normalized wrestling gear for them. So we'll see what happens. Was Dark State at my door? No. If Dark State's at my door, ain't nobody safe, according to what they have to say. No. It was the missus coming home, but she unfortunately was locked out. We did not realize that. So, but she's here now. The whole fam's home, and so we're happy to be here for the weekend. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Hope everybody in the path of the storm is staying safe, staying warm. Just take care of yourselves. Don't go out for anything. Meanwhile, we're back, and Dexter Loomis dropping a back suplex on Solo. We've been talking so much about Saudi and match cards and Crow Sting. I didn't even stop to realize that Solo, and is that Tama, who is wrestling for the tag titles here? Yeah, so it's Tama and Solo. Yeah, how long are the matches going to be tomorrow? Last name. I think the Fatal 4-Way will probably eat up a large amount of time. they may also have some sort of in-ring segment, as a purveyor of Saturday night's main events over the years. There have been times when there's been smaller match cards and they've done like a TV segment. So we'll see what happens, but I really just feel like they should just add one more match. And I'm assuming it's going to be a 2-hour show, maybe 2.5. But with only three matches, it could be just an hour and a half. We'll see. Man, Solo just dropped Gacy coming the way out. Now here comes, Loomis takes out Solo, though. I think Cody and Jacob might last a while, too. I think Cody and Jacob should open the show. 100% think Cody and Jacob should open the show. And I think the Fatal 4-Way should close the show. Put the ladies in the middle. Tama Tonga kicks out. Tonga Loa coming to distract. But here comes Eric Rowan coming to start a fight. Takes out two of the Tongans. And boom. A running crossbody from Rowan to knock out Mateo and Tonga Loa. Oh, now Talatonga's coming back with the lantern now. And Rowan's about to walk him down. Oh, Mateo coming to run interference, and so is Tonga Loa. And now, Rowan just ate a big boot to the face from Tala. Snug one, too. And now Rowan is thrown over the barricade. But Uncle Howdy's sneaking up behind Talatonga, but this is a mismatch. Oh, mandible claw on Talatonga. He's bringing him down, but here comes Solo Sikoa. Samoan spike to Uncle Howdy. Now Solo's got the lantern. And Tama Tonga is taking advantage of the distraction. Oh, snap. Solo just used the lantern on Dexter Loomis's head. Tama Tonga's got him set up. The cutthroat. Looks like the hidden blade. New tag champs. There we go. That's fair. I mean, if there is a hot hand in the tag division right now, it's the MFTs. I feel like the Wyatts have kind of run their course a little bit. I don't know what to tell you. I thought the finish wasn't bad, but WWE has got to come up with a different feud other than I stole a personal item of yours. Because we've done bracelets, shoes, ulafalas, and lanterns now. Truth. He's here to put his balls on the line. AJ Styles is here. All right, I'm assuming R-Truth is declared for the Royal Rumble. Aldis and AJ Styles. Who's here? Nakamura. I think Nakamura's trying to talk Styles out of putting his career on the line. Are they going to add this tomorrow? One more time. AJ and Nakamura, Saturday night's main event. There's your fourth match. Okay. Let's redeem WrestleMania 34, shall we? Okay. Let's go. Okay, that's the match you opened the show with, by the way. Yeah. I think it will 100% be better than the WrestleMania 34 match. There's no title involved, so you don't have to have a face or heel turn in the match. Any of that stuff, it's going to be good. Yeah, I'm for it. Fraxium. Oh, this is a terrible theme song. Has this been Fraxium's theme song for a while? No, Sophie, you know what? The match wasn't bad. Is it the finish fell flat for me? Nate Frazier. Not to be confused with University of Georgia running back Nathan Frazier. Yeah, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of this theme song. It's just me though. If you love it, more power to you. Okay, yeah. So the Attitude Era, I'm just saw now the let's see if I can bring it up to the screen. That is our 2K26 Attitude Era edition cover. And so we see the word hardcore on 26. And then let's see, Taker and Kane, Austin and Triple H, Rock, Angle, Shawn Michaels, Lita, Trish, China, Stephanie McMahon, and the Dudleys, all on the cover. So, yeah, there we are. So that's what we're looking for with 2K26. I do not believe that there is a. I'm not sure that there's a release date mentioned yet. Now, I wonder if that's going to be part of the showcase, though. Didn't they do an Attitude Era showcase in one of the previous years? I don't know. We'll see. I'm sure we'll be getting more announcements as it comes along. Actually, I could probably check and get an idea here of when it'll probably be released based on when last year's game was released. Let's see. Maybe I can see if I can figure that out. No luck as of yet determining when 2K25 came out. But yeah, man. Let's see. Maybe I can find out here. Yeah, it's got to come out close to around Mania, you would think. Yeah, so well, I know that we're right around the time of year. I know last year I pre-ordered it right around the Royal Rumble. So at the end of January. So we'll see. Yeah, I thought they did an Attitude Era showcase already. So maybe they'll just have an Attitude Era mode or something and have a separate thing for a showcase. That would be nice. Yeah, I mean, I saw Modfather. I thought I saw them mention rumors about like Inferno matches and Three Stages of Hell and stuff like that. Um, yeah, I'm curious. I'm curious how it will go. Pre-order is January 30th. Okay. Thanks, Dossie. Well, yeah. We'll have to see how much they're going to try to get, for it this year. All right, so we've got a recap of the tag title match here, where Solo used the lantern to help procure the WWE tag titles for the MFTs. So there we are with all of that. New tag champions. So what do you do? I mean, I guess they got to have a rematch because they still have the lantern too. All right. Got Fraser and Johnny Gargano. We go one-on-one with Fraser. This should be a fun match. Is this a new theme for Gargano too? This is terrible too. This is the way. I mean, it doesn't. This wouldn't work with Johnny being a heel, but absolutely nothing beats Rebel Heart for Johnny. That's one of the best themes WWE's ever done in the past, in the modern era, for my money. Yeah, and they have Axiom's mask. Like too many feuds over the past few years have been over a stolen MacGuffin item. They need to come up with a new way for people to hate each other. Yeah, Modfather, you got to make it to November. Got to make it for that GTA 6, brother. Michael Cole shouting out Bobby Duncombe Sr. Okay. Good job, Michael. Bobby Duncombe Jr., part of the West Texas Rednecks in WCW with Kurt Hennig, Barry Windham, and Kendall Windham. You know, I remember in NXT, Johnny would oftentimes wear comic book themed gear or color palettes for his gear. His entrance tonight looked a little Punisher-ish, if I'm being honest. Wade Barrett just said, I'm reliably told that Axiom is Chad Gable. That's hilarious. He's called Axiom now. Dude, I love Wade Barrett on commentary. That was brilliant. Maybe Combos in the house. Good to see you guys. What's up, everybody in the chat? Hit that like button. Please smack that like button like you're Ilya Dragunov. Make sure it feels it. Yeah, man. The Duncombe family. May the surviving members find their peace, man. Well, gotta say, the crowd seems to be a bit lethargic here for Johnny and Frazier, which is a shame. I imagine if they have the time to get into another gear, the crowd would wake up. But we'll just have to see. Jeez Louise. Gargano just face planted Frazier on the top turnbuckle. Nasty look. And that'll send us to break. Sending Frazier out of the ring. Man, oh man. But yeah, so interesting Smackdown tonight. We're just a little over halfway through. And I've got to get accustomed to the 3-hour Smackdown because I'm sitting here trying to remember who left on the roster is that for them to cover right now, because we have seen we've seen Jade, we've seen Mello, we've seen the Wyatts, we've seen Cody and Jacob. We've already gotten a taste of the Fatal 4-Way tomorrow night. And we still have Trick and Priest to go. Haven't seen Aleister Black tonight. And we still have to see Drew McIntyre. But yeah. So see what else there is to bring us in the next, hour and a half. And also, we're adding AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura to Saturday night's main event tomorrow. Thank you, Dawsey. Thank you, Dawsey, for that. Yeah, Sophie, you're right. Like, they don't even... I'll have to look at Candace's shirt. Yeah, like, they're not even wearing that gear that is referential to that merch that's referential to Ciampa anymore. Like, they've just straight erased him, which is unfortunate. I'm really interested in whatever that story is. If like Ciampa's agreement, if his contract just came up and he didn't want to stay in WWE, or if I didn't see where he'd been cut or anything, but it certainly stands to reason that the way he was being used on TV was very not conducive to his strengths. So outside of that one match he got to have with Dragunov and with Mello, but no, Dragunov, I don't remember. But either way, if you actually give him time, let him wrestle, I honestly don't want Ciampa near AEW. It's just my personal preference. Obviously, whatever makes Ciampa happy, I hope he can do. But just the way they're so casual with the style that they wrestle, knowing that he's had a history of neck issues, I don't love that for Ciampa. But hopefully Ciampa is just happy wherever he goes. Sorry, guys. Any company would be happy to have Ciampa for sure. So, yeah. All right, we're coming back here. And Frazier trying to make a comeback here. Wow. Asai moonsault into a reverse DDT. New Japan and AEW, they work together at Forbidden Door once a year. Yeah, Baron Corbin just happened to be in the building visiting people, and I think it was Billy Gunn or somebody just shouted him out and just said, hey, do you want to do a dark match? And he was like, yeah, sure. Yeah, Elena Black is in TNA now. I was surprised to see her come back because it seemed like she kind of fell out of love with wrestling. So hopefully she's rediscovered it with TNA. Frazier going up top. Big frog splash. He covers about half the ring with that. Only two. Gargano kicks out. Yeah, who knows how long their deals were, George. But hopefully, they can maximize their ability while they're there, their availability. Frazier on the offensive. Frazier going on top, up top. He's going to go for a moonsault, Phoenix splash, maybe. We'll see what happens. Oh, Phoenix splash rolls through. Step up enziguri from Gargano. Flying knee from Frazier. Super kick from Gargano. Enziguri from Frazier. Gargano kind of out on his feet. Oh. They did the old Ricochet Adam Cole super kicks, upside down super kick spot. Gargano looking like a Jordan driver, but only gets two. That'd be hilarious. Yeah, whatever R-Truth's gimmick will be at Royal Rumble this year, I'm sure will be entertaining. It would be so wrong, but if he came out as Ron Cena, that would be so mean to the crowd, but also pretty funny. Frazier jumps up to the top rope, superplex into a Falcon Arrow. Oh, neck breaker. Only two. I don't think Gargano will go back into a tag. I think he's going to work his way into a single, like a mid card single, or with Candice with him. But we'll see what happens. Going back up top again. Now Candice distracting Frazier. Oh, misses the Phoenix splash again. Now can Johnny capitalize? Oh, Axiom gets his mask back. And now he's putting the mask backwards on Candice, which gets Johnny's attention. And now Candice hits Johnny blinded. Roll up, and that's three. And Candice still has the mask. Oh, nope. She threw it down, and Axiom stole it back. So I think we can say that feud is over. Oh, gosh. Now Axiom is gloating in Johnny's face. Both of Axiom is. Oh, no. Candice steals the mask again, and she's running away. Could we stop stealing things that belong to other people, pro wrestling? Like, there shouldn't be two gimmicks on the same show, two angles on the same show revolving around stealing something. Nia and Lash, matchy. I do think a little Sisters of Destruction with Nia and Lash spot could be a lot of fun. There is the WWE champion, Drew McIntyre. You know what, Lockwood? Go back to feeding people their dogs. This might be controversial, but at least that would bring some variety. Am I right? It would give us a little bit of variety in the storytelling. Because speaking of dogs, even the Islanders back in the 80s with Bobby Heenan kidnapped Matilda, the British Bulldog's bulldog. And like just constant stealing of items belonging to other people. Raw's in Toronto Monday. So more Canadian excellence going on. Sophie, I wasn't going to watch Wonder Man, but then I started hearing that is one of the people are saying that's one of the best Marvel shows in the past 5 years. So I may have to check it out. It sounds like it may not do much MCU building, but it's just a standalone show. It's really good. And honestly, I wouldn't mind if Marvel got into that a little bit more and just building good quality programming and good films. And we could maybe after Doomsday or after Secret Wars, we could pump the brakes on all this universe building stuff and just have individual stories, you know? I wouldn't mind that one bit. Some self-contained stories that you can just pick up and put down. Because that's one hard thing too, is it's harder the longer it goes to go back and rewatch some of these MCU properties, knowing that they're just a piece in the puzzle of a greater story. But just individual stories, like say Black Panther, for instance, a pretty good self-contained story, you know? First Iron Man, good self-contained story. That kind of stuff. Pepper. Yes, Pepper was the name of the dog. The big boss man, dude. What a storied career that member of law enforcement had. You know what? God bless Ray Traylor. I hope he's in heaven. Because Lord knows if Vince McMahon was still in charge, he'd probably be an ICE agent right about now on TV. Because he started off as a corrections officer. In the Attitude Era, he was in his SWAT gear. And yeah, if he was still around in 2026, it would probably be pretty ugly. They'd probably pair him up with JBL as an ICE officer. That kind of tackiness for sure. But I tell you what, man, Ray Traylor went all in on everything he ever did in the ring and out of the ring. One of the earliest, not like ever, but one of my earlier exposures, even when he was Big Bubba Rogers in the NWA before he showed up as a big boss man in the late 80s. One of the first truly, him and Bam Bam Bigelow were two of the first really agile big men I was accustomed to seeing. Because before that, you know, I was seeing like the Andres, a late stage Andre, King Kong Bundy's, one-man gangs, Big John Studs, all big, nasty, giant monsters. But they were all had a bit of slowness to them. But Bam Bam Bigelow, Big Boss Man, Big Bubba Rogers, whatever you want to call him, those dudes were big and they could move. That's really impressive stuff. And then, you know, you'd see Vader later as well, who maybe not quite as fast as those other two guys, but faster than the bigger guys. Just some real revolutionary stuff, you know? Bam Bam Vader. Dude, Bigelow and Vader, didn't they tag together in Japan? I think this is a clip from Unreal. Michael Hayes putting over Penta. Those are things I wish I had seen in real time. Was All Japan. Some of those tag teams. You know, your Vader and your Gordy and Williams. I mean, I know they came to WCW for a little while, but you know, Stan Hansen, Steve Williams, Terry Gordy, Bam Bam, Vader, like just all those hoss fights, man, for days. You know what I'd really love to see on the WWE Vault is the WCW New Japan Super Shows. I really hope one day WWE can get their hands on those. I think New Japan probably owns them. But if they could do that, man, I would be all about that. I'm not interested in purchasing a whole New Japan thing just to see those like 2 shows that ever happened, but I would love to see that because you had Sting and Muta there. You had the Steiner, dude, those Steiner matches and those shows. Oh, chef's kiss, man. Some of my favorite Steiner stuff was in that era where they were IWGP tag champions and coming back and forth between America and Japan. Yeah. Yeah. Kobashi, like, I respect him too. I like all that stuff, man. Just, yeah. What an era. All right. Here is your world champion, your WWE, your undisputed WWE heavyweight champion, Drew McIntyre. Umaga matches. Yeah, Umaga was another agile big man for sure. And always was, even before the Umaga gimmick, even when he was 3-minute warning and all that stuff. You know, Rikishi used to be too back in the day. He slowed down once he kind of became Rikishi. But when he was part of the Samoan SWAT team and the Head Shrinkers, Justice Fatu, nasty work, man. Him and Samu. You know, I'm happy for Drew. I'll tell you what, man, there's this one dude off the edge who maybe just looks like he's had too much to drink. The same dude who was smack talking Solo, he had that same look on his face with Drew. That dude, I tell you what, if we were in the Terry Funk, Harley Race days or whatever, the dude's teeth would have been knocked out by now. But we don't do that in 2026. He's got to be careful. Scottish Terminator. Nice sign in the crowd. Drew's an interesting case study because I think we've all had this quiet agreement that we feel like Drew got robbed during COVID because that should have been his crowning moment time. And there was no fans there to celebrate for him. So we've all wanted to see him get his moment. And now he's getting it. And like, I was just going to say, like, and they're going international for all these dates too, since he's won the title. It's kind of like he's getting like a brief mini face turn almost. I mean, he's not playing into it, which is good on Drew. But yeah, green shirt guy's there. I just now noticed him. Well, I'm happy for him. Seriously though, Lockwood, not only do you not mess with a Samoan, the closer the bloodline is to Haku, the further you need to step away. Yeah, no. Yeah, Dawsey, they should just call him WWE champion. Just WWE champion, world champion. Go back to that 2002 distinction, you know. We don't need that undisputed word anymore. It was fine to call it undisputed when Roman unified the titles, but once Cody won it, they should have dropped the word undisputed from it, in my opinion. Cheap Heat. Man, their sports team got insulted and they're still clapping for him. Now would be a great time for Broken Dreams for sure. Yeah, Lockwood, for sure. Drew is still denying attacking Jacob. And Drew said Drew never lies. Huh. Interesting. Let's talk about what's important. Me. Oh, man. Very interested, intrigued in Drew denying the attack. That makes me think Cody this whole time. Are we going to get a long game heel turn from Cody? Dang. Drew said he's going to end Priest's career if he wins. Randy's not Randy anymore, he says. Being Hobbs, retrofitting a jump backstage would be wild. Drew didn't even mention Trick. I mean, maybe he just hasn't gotten to him yet, but you'd think he'd save Sammy for last. Oh, he did. Okay. Sorry. I wasn't paying attention. They're talking about Sammy's kids. Mm. Can't be talking about my kids, dude. Can't be talking about kids, Drew. Okay. Straight to the point. Drew McIntyre runs down every contender. See you at the Rumble. Best of luck. Last name, I think the Samoan SWAT team thing is past its usefulness. So I don't see that for Jacob. I actually really like their presentation of Jacob tonight in his face to face with Cody. They can build on that. Trick and Ray Phoenix. Okay. So I guess still trying to build something with Ray Phoenix and Trick Williams. Will Ray. Now they're showing Trick. Oh, they're showing the Kit Wilson spot from last week. So I wonder if we'll get Kit Wilson versus Matt Cardona. Toxic, toxic, toxic. Oh, goodness. Oh, Kit Wilson backstage. Kit's outfit kind of matches the backdrop. It's got a pearl necklace. Oh, here's Cardona. Man, am I right? Oh, gosh. Okay. They're going to erode the word toxic until it has no meaning anymore. But you know what? That's part of the joke. All right. Here comes Charlotte Flair. We got the triple threat tag team match tonight, which I have forgotten is on the card multiple times tonight, which is a shame because on NXT earlier this week we had another triple threat tag match that was a number one contenders match. You'd think it would be fresh on my mind. Here's a question for those of you who are with me on Tuesday for NXT. Do you guys think this will be better than the match on Tuesday? Because Tuesday's match was fire, so we'll have to see what comes of it all. All right, comes Alexa and Charlotte. I'm curious if the dude who almost caught a fade from Solo Sikoa decides to mouth off at Nia and Lash. I do want to see if he's feeling brave then, or if he just, goons for all the women. We'll have to see. All right. Well, who do you think's got this match? I mean, I feel like Nia and Lash are probably going to win, and we'll get Nia and Lash versus Rhea and Io. I still want to advocate for there being a 6 teams, a 6-team women's elimination chamber for the tag team titles. I think that would be worth it this year with the story they're telling with all these teams instead of having a women's singles match. You could do a men's singles match and a women's tag team chamber. I think that would be pretty good. Yeah, I honestly, in hindsight, I think it was a good call having Drew win the title while they're on this European tour. Well, they're in Canada now, obviously, but he's getting to tour all these cities of outside of America while being champion. So I honestly kind of like this. I wouldn't call it a happy accident per se, but um, I'm glad that the timing has worked out, that he's gotten this live audience reaction and opportunity now, but also from there, just yeah, getting to have those receptions in front of those crowds during this time of the year. Yeah, I don't think we would do 3 matches though, Sophie. Like, I think CM Punk defending the world title at Elimination Chamber would be really good. If they could put him in the chamber, that would be great. I think doing the tag teams would be fun. Um, if you were going to have a third match, I would say make it a women's match. But what I would do is finally have Stephanie Vaquer relinquish the title if she's still injured and crown a new champion. And if Stephanie can go, then Stephanie can come back and get get whatchamacallit, a title match at WrestleMania. She could challenge the new champion. But at the same time, since that's a Raw title, I wouldn't want to do both of those matches at Chamber because I wouldn't want to introduce a new women's world champion on Raw and not have Rhea or Io involved in the determination of who that new champion would be, even if neither one of them were the new champion. Just my thought, though. Yeah, it doesn't have to be. I mean, you can make the Mania title match whatever you want. Um, honestly, you have the Rumble winners being one of the title fights. And the other one, you can do whatever you want. You can make it at Elimination Chamber if you want. You can book whatever you want. You don't have to do the same thing every year. We don't have to be predictable. But we'll see. And they've done tag titles at Elimination Chamber before, even when it was right before WrestleMania. That's where they crowned women's tag titles for the first time, actually, if I remembering correctly, Bayley and Sasha. All right, here comes Giulia and Kiana James. And here comes the odd couple of Giulia and Kiana James. It's not that I wonder why they're in this match, but you've got a singles competitor and her manager as a tag team here. I wouldn't want Drew to defend in the chamber, although you could have Drew, Cody, Jacob. You could put Priest and Orton and Sammy. Priest Orton. That's 6 right there. You'd leave Trick out of that match, but you could do that. But well, it could be the other 5. Like Drew could defend the WWE title in Elimination Chamber versus Cody and Jacob and the other 3 guys who lose the Fatal 4-Way. But I don't know. Yeah, so that's why I mentioned Punk defending the title, Sophie, because it's in Chicago. So I'd figure Punk would be in the main event. But who knows? All right, here comes Nia and Lash. Yeah, I'm not ready to see AJ be retired. I don't like the booking of that match happening at Royal Rumble anyways, because Gunther shouldn't be losing and AJ shouldn't be losing either. I don't like it. I mean, there's always a chance maybe he goes over to TNA maybe, but yeah, that's true. We haven't seen CM Punk and AJ Styles. That would be a lot of fun. Hmm. I mean, I'd love to see both of them inside the chamber. I think Ilya would be more entertaining inside the chamber. Gunther has a traditionalist kind of approach to his wrestling. And also, we saw him kind of lose his cool against CM Punk at SummerSlam last year when he started bleeding. And Ilya starts to hit the next level when he starts bleeding. So I think I'd rather see Ilya inside the chamber. That's quite a dichotomy there, Sophie. Retiring in Saudi versus DC. Pretty wild. Lash, Hurricane Rana in slow motion. All right. Well, my suspicions were accurate. This match is fine. It's just not on the level of what we saw Tuesday night. Yeah, the more I think about it, the more I don't think AJ will retire in Saudi, but we'll see what happens. Tossie says Battle Royal, Gauntlet match, tournament. Although I've seen enough tournaments this year, they could do anything for a number one contenders match for WrestleMania championship match. Yeah, 100%. And the Royal Rumble is already taking one of those. You could use the chamber to determine a number one contender. You could use the chamber to, also let's not forget when Shawn Michaels was trying to goad the Undertaker into one more match at WrestleMania 26, which was his retirement match, of course. The world title was being defended in the Elimination Chamber by the Undertaker, and Shawn Michaels interfered in the ending of that match, and Chris Jericho ended up walking out of the Elimination Chamber as the world champion. That was in 2009, I believe. 2010. It was 2010. And in doing so, they had to build, at that time, I think Edge, because it was Edge versus Chris Jericho for the world title at that WrestleMania, and Edge had not yet declared who he was facing. So that's the thing too, is you could have a Royal Rumble winner and then put the title in the line in the Elimination Chamber and not have your Royal Rumble winner choose who they're facing. And since WrestleMania is in late April now, you could still have like a month at least to build that, So we don't necessarily have to have the winner, pick who they're going to be facing, because it's been telegraphed the past few years. So let's look at Jey Uso. We all knew he was going to pick Gunther. The year before Jey Uso was Cody. Those two times, Cody. Well, one year it was going to be Roman, no matter what. And then Cody wasn't going to pick Seth. I mean, we had that whole Rock shenanigan thing, and Seth tried to actually advocate for it. And then before that was Brock, I think, and there was only Roman then for him to, because that was champion versus champion at that point. So I think it's been a decent number of years since we've been able to see a Rumble winner and think, you know what, I could see them challenging either champion. Well, Sophie, you're acting like they don't already know who they want to be in the main event of WrestleMania. Just because they know it doesn't mean they've started booking it on TV, you know? Like, so they could totally have a plan already to have the Rumble and Elimination Changer worked out to serve their idea of what the WrestleMania main event should be. So they know, but we don't know. That's part of the fun of the conversation. Last name, yeah, I would love to see Gable and Kaiser meet face to face, either as dueling Americanos or Gable just as Gable in the Rumble. I think that'd be a lot of fun. No, there's not really a time limit. I mean, I think it's just whatever they want the booking story to be. I wonder if WWE would ever have the guts to drag out the WrestleMania main event until like right up until WrestleMania, like that entire time you don't know who the Rumble winner is going to choose. Like, could you imagine, like, let's just say CM Punk is one champion and Roman Reigns is the other champion, and Seth Rollins came back and won the Royal Rumble. You could see him picking Roman or picking Punk, right? And just not knowing. Like, if they could drag that out as close to Mania as possible, I think you could only do that once. But I feel like that could be a fun story to where you're like, I really don't know who he's going to pick, you know? It would be wild. I mean, they did tease the scenario for Batista, but I don't remember how long they dragged it out. Last name, when you ask who would be a more shocking winner, do you mean a realistic answer? Like, we're not talking about Akira Tozawa or I Show Speed or something, right? Who do I think would be the most shocking, realistic answer for winning the men's and women's rumbles? I want to clarify you're saying that before I give you my guesses. Sophie, the fans will complain about everything. You know this. You're on Twitter. They complain about everything all day long. Okay, last name. I think the most shocking Royal Rumble winner for the men, to me, would either be honestly would be Jey Uso repeating. I think that would be a shock. Oba would be a shock too. Debuting and winning the Rumble, that'd be a big shock. That's almost out of the possibility for me though. I just don't believe they would do that. I would be shocked if they managed to give Oba again. You know who else it would shock me? A returning LA Knight, especially after I watched Unreal. Because I think they believe in LA Knight. Only two. Kiana James did a power bomb out of a Samoan drop. Kiana James is starting to show out in this match, though. Out of the women, shocking. I think Alexa Bliss would be a shock. Jordan Grace would be a big shock to me too. Even though they're teasing her with Jade Cargill, her winning the Royal Rumble, that'd be a shock for me. Lyra Valkyria would be a shock to me too. Those are people that I could possibly see there being something. Man, Bulldozer, Nia Jax, Ray Phoenix or Penta or women's Sol Ruka. Yeah, Sol Ruka would be a shock too. I think she'll be in the Rumble though. I think she'll make a good showing, but yeah, that'd be a shock. Any legends? Yeah. We'll always get legends. I hope we get Santino Marella this year, even if it's just for a comedy spot. In the men's rumble, I don't want to see Santina Marella, just Santino. I don't think Saudi Arabia is ready for Santina Marella, now that I think about it. Nia Jax, Alexa Bliss, man, that takes me back. They're a little tandem. Oh, out of the way. Giulia hits a missile drop kick on Nia Jax. Yeah, I don't think there'll be a lot of legends, but there might be a couple in each rumble. You know, Lita and Trish maybe for the women. Or Kelly maybe. Jeez. Oh, that was a headbutt. Yeah, the AAA rosters, the TNA rosters. It's called the 401k. Oh, Lash Legend with the smack there. And then Tornado DDT. Nope. Lash catches her. Uh-oh, she's got her. Lash extension. That's got to be it. That's the finish. Nope. Spear from Charlotte. A generous spear. Oh, Kiana James covers. Kiana James steals the victory, and Kiana James and Giulia get the win. Speaking of shocking, and they'll take on Rhea and Io. When? I don't know. The Royal Rumble? Well, they'll take on the tag champions. Yeah, you know, they someone from TNA or AAA winning the Rumble. Yeah, no, that would be majorly shocking. 100%. I don't see that happening at all. Okay. But yeah, hopefully the women are comfortable and not overheated though. I'm still thinking about an hour-long Rumble with those gear that doesn't breathe. Hey, Damian Priest watches the show. Sami Zayn, you have a problem. You have this habit of getting involved in people's matches. Damian Priest needs to talk with bass in his voice more often. Yeah, Shamanika, I'm glad that Kiana is getting more in-ring time. She's starting to show off a little bit more, and I'm happy for her with that. Sammy's got something else to deal with. Who does he see? Is it Drew? It's a slow reveal, whatever it is. Who's here? Please let it be who. Yeah, it's Drew. Sammy just walked up to Drew McIntyre and said, "What did the five fingers say to the face?" Okay. Come on, man. Sammy's got to win that match tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah. Nia and Lash are going to be overheated. I think that's the thing, right? Is let's just talk about the fashion situation in Saudi Arabia right now while we're got the WrestleMania Vegas commercial going on. Is, you know, these ladies, they're going to have to be dressed modestly in Saudi Arabia, but they're also having a Royal Rumble match, which is going to be an hour minimum because that's how long it takes to get all the women to the ring, right? Give or take. with that, I think they need to throw away some of the conventional Rumble ideas they have, which is the Iron Woman, someone who comes in at number 1 or number 2 and is there in like the final 4. I don't think they need to do that this year. I mean, listen, I'm no weather reporter. I don't know what the weather's going to be like. You know what? While we're here, we have the internet right at our hands. So I'll tell you what, let's take a look at Riyadh, shall we, and see what the weather is like right now and what it may be, next weekend if we can find out if this app even goes outside the country. Hopefully it does. Riyadh, KSA, Riyadh region. Okay, let's see, and let's try to. Can we do a daily forecast here? We're going to have to wait for an ad because your boy doesn't pay for weather apps to go ad free. All right, here we go. Yes, Dossie. Well said, good sir. Smack that like button like Sami Zayn smacked Drew McIntyre. That's right. No rationale, no explanation. Just smack that like button. Will you please? Okay. So here we go. Next Saturday, which I guess will be Sunday there, right? Or will it be Saturday? Yeah, it'll be Saturday morning here. So Saturday night there. We're looking at a high of 78 degrees, plenty of sun, 75 degrees in the shade. What is our low going to be? Okay, well, the sun will set at 5:30 local time. So that should be, and the low is going to be 57. So honestly, on the contrary, oh no, I wasn't using the weather app, Sophie. I was using AccuWeather. It gives more information. It gives more detailed information than the native Apple weather app. I don't like using Apple's weather app. Anyways, all that to say, right, that the Ladies Rumble, if it doesn't start off the show, which I'm guessing it's going to start off the show now that I think about it, it's probably going to be cooler. The weather is going to be in the low 60s to high 50s in desert climate. Them being modestly dressed might actually work in their favor. Keep them a little bit warmer. Might be the dudes who are feeling a little cool later that night. We'll see what happens. So maybe it won't be as big of a deal as we're making it to be. So, and by we, I mean me. Nevertheless, but yeah, usually a Rumble match is the first or second match of the show. And then a Rumble usually finishes the show unless there's some sort of major angle advancement going on. So, yeah. London Toy Fair 2025 Action Toy of the Year. Omos could show up at the Rumble. He's been working around AAA. Here's AJ Styles walking backstage. Who's stopping him? Cody. Backs against the fire. Says good luck to AJ. Now Cody is stopping. Who does he see? Drew taped an autographed 8x10 on the window of his bus. That's brilliant. Oh, that was so good. And Cody selling it with just sort of the exasperated frustration. Like he's not even like mad. He's just like, I cannot wait to get my hands on that. Just like that was great. A little bit of a defeated sigh, if anything. That was great. Drew's a man of the people, man. What can we say? Oh gosh. All right. So we get AJ Styles versus AJ Nakamura. AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura tomorrow. You know what? If we can get through this Gunther match without losing AJ's career, um, I'm all for not having some overarching narrative of AJ's last year. Just be like, listen, I'm AJ Styles and I want to have the matches I want to have. And honestly, you don't have to kayfabe it too much. You can just be like that. For somebody like AJ Styles, you can do that. Send him over to Impact for a month or something and let him wrestle there. Give him a match at WrestleMania, something that he can really hang his hat on. You know, Giulia and Kiana backstage here with Kathy Kelly. See what they have to say. Shamanica, I'm going to pin your put your comment on the screen, and we're going to address that here in a minute. Triple champion Giulia. Wow. Maybe. Okay. All right. Shamanica, let it be known. Shamanica calling this out. Earlier in the chat, someone said Punk has never faced AJ or hasn't gotten to face him yet. Shamanica is calling her shot here. She says, I think AJ faces Punk at WrestleMania. Now, let me follow this up with you, Shamanica. Does that mean, number one, that you think AJ Styles wins the Royal Rumble? Or number two, that he wins at Elimination Chamber? Or do you think he gets there another way? I mean, I'm not going to limit you to those two choices. But I tell you what, I like this. I like this option. I like this option, and maybe I don't need a bunch of triple threats in my life, but I wouldn't hate Seth Rollins being a part of that match either. AJ, Seth, and Punk. I really would love AJ Punk one-on-one, but will we get another AJ Seth match this year? Assuming Seth is ready to go by Mania. That's the assumption, right? You could kill two birds with one stone in getting those matches for AJ as well. But nevertheless, I like where your head's at. And that would be a fresh matchup because honestly, I don't really want to see Punk versus somebody in the Vision or Seth Rollins one-on-one at WrestleMania. Even though that might be what we get, especially if Seth is ready. I don't know. You think AJ takes an injured wrestler spot like Becky did to win the Royal? Ooh. See, now that I like that. I like where your head's at, Shamanica. You're thinking well. That is a spot that only works a certain number of times, but I really like that idea too. You have an injured wrestler. Let's take you guys back to 2019. I think it was Lana, right? Who had gotten injured on her way to the ring, and Becky Lynch comes out, and the crowd was salivating for her to be able to take Lana's spot in the Rumble. I still remember that. Talk about a marked moment when Finley, as an agent, is standing there in the ring, like blocking Becky from going in, and she is pleading and pleading, and like the crowd is crescendo, is reaching this crescendo, this fever pitch, and eventually he just waves his arms to the ring, and explosion pop for Becky Lynch, and they hit her music. She's already halfway down the aisle, and she gets in the ring and squares up first and foremost to Nia Jax, who broke her nose and set that whole the man chain reaction in motion. Her getting it like that, that stretch of that Royal Rumble was booked so well and just executed so well. I feel like it would be silly of me to say Becky Lynch is underrated, but I think she is by certain corners of wrestling fans who only look for certain things in their wrestling. Like maybe she's not, Natalia in the ring, right? But all of the pieces of the puzzle you need to be an overall effective good wrestler, Becky Lynch excels at. And I think when all is said and done, she's going to be the best of the horsewomen if she's not already, because she has figured out that it factor. It's interesting too how the four horsewomen have all kind of carved their niche into wrestling immortality. Bailey, this is how I look at them anyways. Bailey has kind of become the Natalia, the Natty Neidhart, the backstage sort of locker room leader, kind of training up the young ones and all this other stuff. And Becky has been putting over younger talent for years. But Charlotte is the legacy performer. Like she was the legacy performer when they all came in. She was the Flair, right? And then you have Mercedes, Sasha, who has probably got the number of championships, right? And a lot of people will say she's the best in the ring. I think that's up for debate, but I won't say it's unheard of. But then you got Becky, who I think out of all four of them is the first, no doubt, first ballot Hall of Famer. I think she is head and shoulders above them all. Not by a wide margin, but if you have to rank them, I think Becky is an easy number one. As we see the ruler getting his video package here. Another Obafemi package. Okay. Ready to see him. Yeah, she did try hard to get Lyra and Maxine over. I mentioned that in my review of Unreal Season 2. Not only that, but she really helped cement Bianca as a main eventer. And Rhea Ripley too. I mean, Rhea was kind of already there by the time her and Becky mixed it up. But I was one of the people who really hated how Becky kind of squashed Bianca, but she was also the sort of no pun intended, the linchpin of Bianca cementing herself as a bona fide main eventer at that WrestleMania. And I was just watching a YouTube video where Seth and Becky were being interviewed together with like Variety or somebody like that, where you Google yourself those videos. And she mentioned that WrestleMania match with Bianca is one of her all-time favorite matches. Like she was so proud of all they accomplished in that match, in that feud. And so that means a lot to Becky too. And it was an awesome arc for Bianca too. So, I mean, yeah, you'll have a hard time convincing me any of the horsewomen have topped the body of work that Becky Lynch has accomplished. That's just for me. And also, she's the only woman who has walked away of the horsewomen who's walked away victorious in the main event of WrestleMania, especially when WrestleMania was a one-night event too. She was the last one-night event WrestleMania winner. All right, Trick and Priest in the main event here. Who you guys got? I feel like Sammy probably sticks his nose where it doesn't belong and Trick escapes with a win tonight, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, Shamanica, Trick's looking clean, man. He knows how to put on his gear for sure. The lemon pepper steppers, as he calls his shoes from time to time. Can't say that too much. I'm just going to get hungry. Big chop from Trick Williams in the corner. Thank you guys again just for rocking with me tonight. It's been a lot of fun. We will be back tomorrow for Saturday night's main event as well. With 4 matches on the card now. Should be a lot of fun. Suplex from Trick to Priest. Crowd kind of seems tired. Crowd's been hot at different times tonight, and then a little lethargic at times, a little hot and cold. I find it interesting on commentary. Now, comparatively speaking to Trick Williams, Michael Cole is right, but he referred to Damian Priest as a veteran. Are we calling Damian Priest a veteran at this point? I mean, compared to Trick, he is, but I don't know. I don't know about that. And, yep, here comes Sammy. Right on time. Trick's easily distracted. Do you think we see any celebrities in the Rumble? Probably. Yeah, there'll probably be a celebrity spot. Well, I don't know. Saudi? That's the wild card last name. Like, normally I'd be like, yes, of course. They'll have Tyrese Halliburton. Well, not Tyrese Halliburton, not an actual athlete, probably George Kittle, whatever. But in Riyadh, gosh, I just don't know. I'm just not certain about that. Oh, Priest tried to go old school on the top rope and got crotched for his troubles. Trick and Priest on the outside now. Oh, man. Trick with a nasty throw into the steps on Priest. Now Trick talking up Sami Zayn on the outside. Earlier in the night, Randy said he wasn't worried about tonight because he was just focused on tomorrow. I'm curious, does he get involved? Because with it being a 4-way match, this is the second time tonight the 3 of these guys have kind of mixed it up. And Randy is just like, I kind of feel like if we don't see an RKO at the end of this match or to end this show, why even have Randy in the match tomorrow? You know what I mean? Oh, geez. Trick went for like it's on commercial right now, but I still have the screen on. Trick went for a roundhouse kick, but Priest like spun around and gave him his back when he was coming off the ropes. So it was really awkward and clunky looking. Montreal is ole-ing here during the break, giving Sammy plenty of attention. Here's a question. So we have had, we're coming up, we're probably 2 years away from there being 40 Royal Rumbles. Of all the Royal Rumbles that you've seen, which men and women, which Royal Rumble is your favorite and why? I'm interested to hear what your favorite Royal Rumble is. So let me know in the comments what Royal Rumble do you hold the closest to your heart and for what reason? I got to say, I'm glad they're on commercial break right now because I feel like the in-ring chemistry between Trick and Priest is not 100% there. I feel like it's more on Priest than it is on Trick too. Like, I feel like Priest selling is kind of weird. Thankfully, it's not on the live feed right now, but there's been a couple of spots in this match where Trick is going for a typical offensive move, and Priest selling is so unusual, it makes it look really weird. We're about 30 seconds away, though, from coming back live. And thank you guys for sitting with me tonight for almost 3 hours. Wasn't sure I was going to have it in me, but here we are. As far as celebrities in the Rumble, though, I honestly think maybe my favorite one that came through was Johnny Knoxville that year. I thought he did his job well. He served that role pretty well. Speed wasn't bad last year either. I didn't love it at the time, but man, the spear he took from Braun Breaker, I got to respect him just for doing it. He made that thing look like $1 million. I don't think he had much of a choice, but he certainly made him look like $1 million. Last name, what's your favorite Royal Rumble match of all time? And why, if you want to say why. All right, Priest and Trick are back. This match continues as we're getting to the end of Smackdown here tonight, and this is our main event. But I'll tell you what, the crowd is kind of there, kind of not. They're starting to wake up for Priest, though, now. Priest charges the corner. Jumping elbow. But, oh, Harlem sidekick from Trick. Cole's trying to figure out what to call it. That side boot jumping cyclone kick. I'll tell you what, Barrett is doing a really good job on commentary here tonight, just kind of telling the story of this match. Cole and Barrett as a team, really, they have decent chemistry together. Chokeslam coming. South of Heaven. Nope. Trick gets out of it. Another Harlem sidekick misses. Now Priest bringing the kicks of himself and drops him with a forearm. But, oh, a little capoeira kick from Trick. And then a big kick from Priest. And then another boot from Trick. They're doing the boo-yay thing, but with kicks instead of punches. And now both men are down. Your favorite was 2006 because it was the start of Rey Mysterio's run. Yeah, that was an emotional time for sure. Post Eddie and Rey kind of running the table in that Rumble was really good. That was a good Mania too. That was 22, right? WrestleMania 22. That was a great card. That was Cena Triple H, which that was okay. But that was the Shawn Michaels Vince McMahon match too, which was underrated. People don't talk about that match much, but it was good. Only two from Trick. Shamanica Powerhouse Hobbs' new name has not been confirmed anywhere from I've heard. I heard a rumor that he was going to go by the name Royce Keys. Like I think his nephew's name is Royce. But that is not substantiated anywhere. That is only a rumor. Because I heard somewhere that Royce was like the name of a family member of Hobbs, and that WWE had trademarked that name recently. But we'll see. Dawsey bringing up Golden Era stuff, 92 with a tear. Emma. Actually, hold on. Little Dusty. We're going to, not Dusty Baby, but just actually Dusty. Speaking of 1992 Royal Rumble, Right here, baby. Yes. I'm with you all the way, Dusty. Dossie. Sorry, I said Dusty again. I'm tired, dude. It's been a long night. 3 hours is a long show. But yeah, I am marked by wrestling for the 92 Rumble. Absolutely love that. One of the best Final Fours of that time, too. Calling Sammy Damian at WrestleMania. Interesting, Shimonica. That maybe. Oh my gosh. Like a flapjack onto the announce table from Trick onto Priest onto the announce table. And Sammy, Trick just threw Priest into Sammy, and they both go tumbling down. That's got to factor into things. Priest having a hard time getting up, though. Priest really having a hard time getting up. Trick breaks the count. I wonder if Priest is okay because he's not getting to his feet to get back in the ring. And the count was at 8, and Trick had to go back in the ring and roll back out to break the count. I mean, he could just be selling really well. But that's just such an odd choice. Yeah, last name. Season 2 of Unreal, it's interesting for sure. Oh, now Sammy's in the ring. Sammy's back in, and Sammy causes the DQ. I feel like a whole lot of waiting for him to jump in. I mean, he's just retaliating from having Priest thrown into him. But now the refs are going to come to try to break Sammy off of Trick. Well, Priest is not going to be happy about this when he gets up. Is he up already? Because he's out of the camera shot. And now here's Priest shoving Sammy. And now Sammy's throwing hands with Priest too. Again, if you're Randy, don't you show up to drop an RKO here or there? Priest with a super kick to Sammy. Now Trick with a trick shot to Priest. Trick Williams is standing tall right now. Are we going to get a Randy spot? All right, Trick Williams' music is playing. Trick wins by DQ due to interference by Sami Zayn. Oh, but crowd's popping. Yep, I know this camera shot. Yep, there's Randy. He's dancing too. He's dancing to Trick's music. RKO. There it is. He's like, okay, I'm a liar. And send the crowd home happy. All right. Well, that should do it for SmackDown tonight. Randy hitting that Randy pose on the corners as we're less than 24 hours away from finding out who's going to face Drew McIntyre at the Royal Rumble for the WWE title. It's either going to be Randy Orton, Trick Williams, Damian Priest, or Sami Zayn. So here we are. I'm going to tell you now, while we're here, I'm going to give you my predictions for Saturday night's main event tomorrow. This fatal four-way match, I still have Sami Zayn winning it. I think he will go on to the Royal Rumble to face Drew McIntyre. As right now, Sami and Randy are now staring down face to face. Randy's given a lot of words to Sami. All right, they exchanged some words. Oh, RKO. Randy hits the RKO on Sami, and Montreal does not care for that. But Randy wouldn't be Randy if he wouldn't do that. So, yeah, I have Sami winning tomorrow, going on to the Royal Rumble to face Drew McIntyre. I think AJ Styles will beat Shinsuke Nakamura in that match that just got added to the card tonight. I think Rhea and Io will retain over the Judgment Day. And last but not least, I think Jacob Fatu is going to beat Cody Rhodes. That's just my thought. Curious on what you guys' thoughts are, but I appreciate you all so much for joining me tonight, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. And please do join me tomorrow for Saturday night's main event, and we will go from there. You guys take care of yourselves. Please don't forget to be a mark. Being a mark just means you believe. Believing makes wrestling better, and I will see you guys